In 1917, India was entirely under British rule. In the agrarian district of Champaran, Bihar, the local economy was completely dictated by the demands of the empire. The Tinkathia System was a strict British mandate. Farmers were forced to section off exactly 3/20, or 15%, of their land for indigo. This devastated the soil, leaving it barren. Landlords then bought the mandated harvest at artificially low prices, paying pennies on the dollar. This photograph shows the industrial reality of that system. You can see the massive scale of the British indigo operation, which ran almost entirely on the backs of this legally trapped, exploited labor force. The breaking point hit when Germany introduced a cheap synthetic dye to the global market, causing indigo prices to collapse. To cover their own corporate losses, the British landlords simply extracted illegal compensation fees from the already impoverished farmers. The people of Champaran were caught in a systemic extortion racket, mathematically designed to bleed them dry, with zero legal way out. This portrait of a local farmer standing with his bullock provides raw evidence of the physical toll that extortion took. A man named Kumar Shukla lived this reality every day as a local cultivator and teacher. By 1915, Shukla was desperate enough to track down Mohandas Gandhi, a lawyer who had recently returned to India after organizing civil rights campaigns in South Africa. Shukla didn't ask Gandhi for funding or weapons. He insisted that Gandhi physically travel to Champaran to witness the agrarian crisis and audit the reality on the ground. That highly localized request for an outside observer became the exact trigger for the strategy that would dismantle British rule in India. When Gandhi arrived in Bihar in April 1917, he immediately began organizing. This photograph is of Rajendra Prasad, one of the prominent local leaders Gandhi recruited to help build a strategic network. The British administration in Motihari panicked at his presence. They swiftly issued a formal, written legal order demanding Gandhi leave the district immediately. Gandhi responded in writing. He stated politely he was conducting a search for truth and justice, and therefore he would not comply with the order. On April 16th, the administration arrested him for defying the notice. An Indian leader was challenging the absolute authority of the empire by weaponizing their own legal framework against them. The next day, the British convened court, expecting a routine judgment to quietly deport a nuisance. Instead, they walked out to scenes like this photograph. Thousands of Champaran farmers mobilized overnight, surrounding the courthouse in a massive, strictly peaceful demonstration. Inside the courtroom, Gandhi offered no conventional defense. He simply told the magistrate that while he respected the law, he could not obey an order that was inherently unjust. The overwhelming display of peaceful unity outside introduced the concept of Jan Shakti, people power. The demonstration terrified the local administration so completely that the judge released Gandhi unconditionally. The empire relied on the threat of force to maintain control. On that day in court, the British realized that fear had lost its effectiveness. Gandhi didn't pause to celebrate his release. He immediately pivoted into a massive data collection operation. This animation represents the real strategy. Gandhi and his team sat down with the farmers and recorded formal, written testimonials. They generated massive, towering stacks of empirical data detailing the exact abuses of the landlord system. The sheer weight of thousands of documented statements created an undeniable paper trail. The British government capitulated and formed an official inquiry committee to review the evidence. In a final ironic twist, the government was forced to appoint Gandhi himself as a primary member of that investigating committee. Satyagraha proved to be a rigorous legal and evidentiary assault that trapped the oppressor in their own bureaucratic rules. The committee reviewed the data and delivered their verdict. The Tinkathia system was entirely unjust. The government abolished the mandate and ordered financial relief for the farmers. But winning the legal battle was only half the process. The local community was deeply damaged and required comprehensive social reconstruction. This is a portrait of Kasturba Gandhi. She, along with other organizers, took a critical leadership role in launching campaigns to eradicate untouchability, stop child marriage, and improve village sanitation. They also built physical infrastructure. As you can see in this photograph of a rural classroom, the movement heavily prioritized education and building new schools across the district. The material victory defeated the landlords, but these societal reforms ensured the farmers would remain a self-reliant, educated citizenry long after the lawyers went home. Champaran finalized a specific formula: gather undeniable empirical truth, maintain strict nonviolence, and apply massive public unity. This photograph shows the man who emerged from that campaign. The local victory won him the absolute trust of the Indian masses and elevated him into a national symbol. The agrarian dispute in Bihar proved the tactical, evidentiary, and psychological blueprint that would eventually dismantle the British Empire in 1947.